The Halo franchise has held a special place in my heart since I first played Combat Evolved. I mean, even though it hasn't been 13 years since my last Halo game, it has been long enough that hearing Chief and Cortana again hit me way harder than expected.
Wake up, Chief.
And I actually stopped my Halo marathon after learning Halo 5 wasn't on Steam, or part of the Master Chief collection. But now with Campaign Evolved announced, I decided I'm
finishing this fight.
So this is my retrospective review of Halo 4. I jumped into Halo 4 right after finishing Yakuza 0. Incredible game, by the way. And I was actually surprised at how excited I was to jump back into something fast-paced and explosive. And frankly, Halo 4 delivered. Granted, it's not perfect, but right from the outset I was just having a blast. There are definitely differences to the visuals and tone and the story since 343 took over, but to me it still embraces that Halo DNA. I mean, I can't lie, this video might be biased because I do still love this franchise, but I'm going to be as honest as I can. The visuals. Graphically, the game still holds up. There are definitely moments that look rough, but I think it still captures that famed Halo feel. Chief's suit does look a bit strange to me sometimes. Something about his shoulders being so much lower, but it's a bit whatever. I think 343 tried to push the boundaries a bit more here. Something they obviously tried to do with the story as well, which I appreciated. It's not necessarily the best, but it's definitely not terrible. In fact, I'd honestly say it's pretty good. Especially when you consider this game is 13 years old and was limited by the hardware of the 360 at the time. The art style is also quite good. The Mantis, for example, is a new piece of kit that fits right in and looks really cool. It actually made me wonder why they weren't introduced earlier in the franchise. Something else I noticed is how varied the biomes are. And come to think of it, that actually goes for most Halo games. There's just such a vast variety of different areas you end up exploring. Each one with their own unique ambience and set during different times of the day. You can see the exact atmosphere the devs were trying to create, and it worked really well. Potential spoilers ahead. Jump to the on-screen timestamp to avoid. The addition of a new race is an interesting idea as well, and their futuristic high-tech style is really detailed. The Flood obviously representing the token organic lifeform faction. The Covenant, although advanced, are a coalition of different races with a tribal influence. So naturally these Prometheans fit in nicely as this really advanced super race, and the designs look really cool. Like these weapon animations when you first pick them up, they just ooze with awesomeness. Now, if you know me at all, you'll know that I hold the Halo soundtrack with such high regard. It is quite literally one of the most iconic OSTs of any game ever made. This is a hill I will die on. But having said that, I was genuinely surprised to find out that Martin O'Donnell didn't actually score Halo 4. Luckily for us though, Neil Dabbage not only embraces that quality pedigree, he expands upon it. And considering this is the first foray from 343, I think they've done a really good job. Especially considering the variety and different moods the music encompasses in this particular installment. I mean, being honest, perhaps it doesn't have the weighty gravitas that the previous installments had, but it's still very good in my opinion. When it comes to the voice acting though, we are so back, baby.
Seems like old times.
Ready to get back to work?
Like at this point, both Jen Taylor and Steve Downes could just speak gibberish and it'd be fine. Because what Cortana and Chief sounds like is so deeply ingrained in our minds that you cannot let anyone else portray them. It just wouldn't work.
The system responded with this.
What is it?
That's the kicker. It's the Forerunner symbol for Reclaimer.
It's the gaming equivalent of Ian McKellen as Gandalf. And the thing is, the script and how the story plays out actually pushes the range of these actors to new grounds. Perhaps one might say the story is cliched, but to me, it was just really well done, and I could feel myself really immersed in the world. Hey, if this review hasn't made you rage quit yet, consider dropping a like, and maybe even subscribing for more. Story. Halo games have generally had a pretty solid focus on fast-paced action, and that rings just as true in the story. But as you first start out, the vibe is very different. That opening mission feels like some sort of horror game intro rather than a traditional Halo FPS. It certainly feels like a refreshing twist on the franchise, and even though the story changes tone relatively quickly, I still appreciated the attempt to mix things up. And some moments even feel quite mature for a Halo game, which are normally pretty family friendly. Admittedly, by the third act, I was definitely a lot less invested in the story.
Now what do we do?
Some of these ideas and elements fell a bit short for me, and the overall storyline just felt convoluted. Still, I did appreciate the attempt, but I can't say it was my favourite part of the game. Some of the parts I did really enjoy though were probably how the story was told. Halo games have always had some level of spectacle or epic sequence built in. Huge set-piece moments that really help to build up our Spartan hero as this larger-than-life protagonist. The overwhelming odds that the player as the faceless hero must overcome. Halo 4 is no different. In fact, some moments are even more heavily embraced, such as the Mantis or Broadsword missions. The introduction is framed in a way that delivers maximum awesomeness, and I am absolutely here for it. In terms of characters, having Del Rio being a much more aggressive and less amiable leader made the character dynamics more interesting. And Lasky was a good middle ground at tempering the emotions during the more intense moments. Exploring Cortana's rampancy and showing Chief's more human side, though unexpected, was really interesting to see as well. Something the franchise not normally delving into. And playing it today, when AI discourse is everywhere, adds an unintentionally relevant layer. Like I said, the overall story was good, it just wasn't my favourite. But you know what would be my favourite? You hitting that like button and subscribing. It genuinely helps. Thanks, Spartan. That was legendary. Gameplay. This is a Halo game. It's fast-paced and full of action. Maybe it's not as unhinged or relentless as Doom, but it's still packed with that signature Halo chaos and hilarity. As expected, signature vehicles make a return, like the explosive Scorpion, the super speedy Ghost, the aerobatic Banshee, and of course the always chaotic Warthog. And as always, because this is Halo, that unpredictable open sandbox design is back and beautiful. Is this Ghost meant to make it up this platform? No.
Nice.
Does it serve any meaningful purpose? Also no. Am I going to do it every time? Of course. And as previously mentioned, the introduction of the Mantis is an absolute key highlight. Its first introduction genuinely caught me off guard, and the entire mission built around it is awesome from start to finish. Spoiler alert, jump to the on-screen timestamp to avoid. The introduction of this new faction and enemy types was an interesting addition. Personally, I found them quite challenging at first, but after a bit of trial and error, you do figure them out. The Knights can basically face tank an entire light rifle magazine, and the flying drones constantly reviving them gets annoying pretty fast. These robo-doggos on the other hand end up feeling kind of easy, going down to a single clean headshot, but at least it's a satisfying kill. On balance, they're an okay addition to the game and help to keep things fresh with their new mechanics. The new weapons look great, and their pickup animations are slick, but that same animation locks you out of firing when you first pick them up, which is super frustrating if you're in the middle of a fight. My main gripe though is that they're not really unique. I mean, they mostly serve as alternate counterparts to existing weapons. Like the suppressor is basically another SMG, or the scatter shot being another version of the shotgun, or the binary rifle being a different style of sniper. I mean, they work fine enough, but don't quite add a new dimension to the sandbox, and none are as uniquely memorable as the classics. Like the Needler for example, which is still such an iconic weapon, and I can't think of any new game that's introduced a weapon this unique in 2025. So unfortunately on that front it is a bit disappointing. But the thing is, the pre-established Halo chaos and quality gunplay is still here, and it's still awesome. And I guess if it ain't broke, there's nothing to fix, right? Halo 4 is yet another game that has aged. It's unquestionable, but the original fast-paced and action-heavy gameplay loop is still very, very fun. In fact, maybe it's just me, but I actually think it's better than some modern games today. The visuals and story are interesting. Granted, neither are my favourite parts of the game. It's honestly not bad though, and I do appreciate the devs pushing the boundaries here. And even though there's a new composer, the music is still one aspect that feels timeless. So yes, even if it's just solely for the gameplay, I would still recommend playing Halo 4 today. If you've managed to sit through this whole video, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what else you'd like to see in the comments. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one.